Lost introduction. Hello, good evening. I'd like to give an especially warm welcome to everyone joining us tonight for part 1 of our Call of Cthulhu 2-part special. We're going to get through some quick announcements and then we'll introduce our wonderful investigators. Before we begin, I'm going to start us off with a quick reminder that here at New Age Geeks, it includes more than just us. It relies on all of you wonderful geeks and your participation in the community that we are building together. If you want to become one of the New Age Geeks, you can. Just join our Discord, subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels, where you'll find moderated chats, emotes by one of our favorite geeks, Sarah. Hi, Sarah! And chat rooms with the cast and other members of our growing community. Remember that the best way to help us out with the algorithm is engagement, so watch the video all the way through. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so all these platforms know to share us with everyone else. Speaking of engagement, we would love it if you would please make sure to clip any of your favorite moments of the show. The funny moments, the sad moments, and tonight, the spooky moments. Beyond that, we have posts going up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. So if you're on any of those platforms, make sure to follow us there as well for more geeky goodness. I'm gonna hand it off to Joe.
For what? What am I introducing? That was everything.
Sponsors.
If you enjoy the music we have going on here at Forging Fates, we highly recommend checking out the Songcraft bot. Songcraft bot allows you to play open source community selected music from 20 plus soundscapes and 40 plus music genres, all for just $10 a month. But if you use our code NAG, that's NAG, you get $2 off your subscription for the first 3 months. So all you got to do to get started is invite NAG into your Discord server, then hit play and let Songcraft take care of the rest.
Yay. Awesome. So, real quick, I'm going to have all of our wonderful investigators quickly introduce themselves, and we'll just kind of popcorn it off. Why don't we go ahead and we'll start with Taz. Who you are, where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Taz. You can find me at Reader and Rogue on most social medias, or you can find me every Monday night here on the New Age Geeks channel, playing Clover Hexcomb on Forging Fates. And that's about it.
You can popcorn whoever.
Joe.
What's up, geeks? I'm Joe from New Age Geeks. You can also find me at New Age Cosplay on Instagram. Get tech every time. I'm here doing all these things that I do here. That's all I got. I love you, geeks. Go ahead, Lauren. Give it to us. Rima. That's what I said, Rima.
You're good. Hi, I'm Rima, and I'm playing Marianne Wilkins. And every other Wednesday, you can find me right here playing in Queer and Present Danger with Hands. And my character in that show is Bloom. Oh, you can find me at Rima Rabbit. So Rima Rabbit on pretty much everything.
What's up, everybody?
Tech. Sorry. I forgot to popcorn it. I was like, dang it, Tech.
Oh, man. Hey, everybody. Tech Frost here. Mostly, this is my first, actually, not even mostly, this is my first time ever being on New Age Geeks. I already love it here. You guys are amazing. You can find me everywhere at TEKFROST. But other than that, just happy to be here.
You can also catch me and Tech every Sunday at Records of the Realm, where we play together in the Darkness Arc campaign. It's a lot of fun. We are fucking chaos incarnate.
Love it. Awesome. And I am Hands. You can find me across all socials at HandsKate. You can also find me alternating Wednesdays here on New Age Geeks for Queer and Present Danger, where I play Ashira. You can also find me for our opening episode tomorrow night over on the Dice and Autism Twitch channel for Tales of Aegis. And then next Tuesday, you can find all of us here again for our second part finale of our special Call of Cthulhu series. And then Halloween as well, I'll be on a charity stream of Candela Obscura. So look for that next week too.
What channel is that going to be on?
I get it wrong every time. Poison Pub Productions.
Make sure to check her socials.
I'm doing great. You can find it on my socials. And just one more thing real quick before we get started, I'm going to do a quick little just content corner with everyone. Call of Cthulhu by nature is a horror-based TTRPG. There is always the potential that we will be dealing with phobias, manias, hallucinations, and themes of body horror, eldritch terror, and mild gore. While we would like to remind our viewers joining us tonight that we're going to be trying to keep the stream PG-13, there is still the chance that what occurs may be triggering for some people. Please feel free to step away and come back to the stream when you're ready to rejoin. Beyond that, does anyone have anything else? We're going to go ahead and we'll get started tonight. Our evening begins with a bird's eye view, soaring across the countryside just north of Appleby, Massachusetts, in the late fall of 1924. The last rays of sunlight filter through leaves of copper, red, and gold, painting a picturesque scene before us. Our view shifts down through the treetops, through the dark woods, following a rough and rickety, winding road through the dense forest. Eventually, our view opens up to reveal the grounds of the Everett Lodge. Carefully maintained wilderness of long grass and pebble-lined paths curving out to buildings from a large, imposing 19th century lodge, made of pale stone that almost seems to blend into the landscape, gardens surrounding it immaculately kept, softening its rough lines. You see 2 floors of just opulence with long peaked roof lines. From within, we see light and laughter and music filtering out, a sense of warmth and camaraderie and excitement palpable on the air. We see one lone car pulling up to the entrance, the stairway. A valet steps forward to get the door for our investigator. Joe, if you'd please describe who you're playing tonight.
Well, as I exit the Ford Model T, I go ahead and close the door behind myself, give a little nod to the valet, give him a little tip. Give him 5 cents because he's working hard out here. I like kind of step out of the car. I look at the mansion, and it's been a dark day. I'm here to investigate murder. I wonder what kind of mysteries will unfold as I do what I do best as Dick Dan Diamond, private investigator. And as I adjust myself, fix my suspenders and my hat, he's got the look of a man who's seen some things and got that stare that just seems to go on for 1,000 yards. But that's not what we're here for today, boys. We're here to investigate murder, and I promise you that's what we're going to do. So with that, I have my 38 Special tucked in on the left side of my waistband of my fantastic trousers, which are dark brown. So as Dick Dan Diamond exits his Ford Model T, he's gonna kind of flatten off his pinstripe blue and charcoal gray trousers as he adjusts his shirt, which looks very much like this, a wonderful light blue pattern with his white collar and sleeves, his suspenders strapped to his chest, where he's got his Luger tucked behind him, just in case, and make sure his hat's nice and square before he makes his way over inside this mansion of murder.
As you exit your vehicle, it is kind of a chill and misty evening. The sun at this point has begun to set deep behind the trees, and it is quite a bit darker now. There's fog starting to gather at the edges of the tree line, and as you kind of take in the view of the grounds, you see what looks to be maybe a small body of water, a large pond perhaps. A short distance from the house, you see another sort of structure, maybe a shed. The lodge itself is, again, aglow with lights from within. Almost every single window has light filtering out through it. Lanterns have been lit outside, guiding guests up the stairs and onto the terrace to enter the house. You can see looking down the lane, several other cars parked and lined up, all of them large, expensive vehicles. Entering in through these solid double doors, the house opens up into a great room with a vast central area. There is a mezzanine floor to the rear of the room, a staircase on the left leading up to it. The newel, intricately carved, kind of the fronting to the mezzanine is an intricately carved eagle taking flight. On either side, as you enter in, you can see heavy wooden doors leading to an east and a west wing. High above, there are wooden beams, exposed wooden beams, a deep, dark wood, almost kind of giving the feel of having a rib cage overhead. The walls themselves are paneled with a dark, polished wood. You see a feature wall of pebbled stone with a gaping fireplace. There's richly stitched floor rugs of burgundy and gold. There are sofas throughout the room, tables. There looks to be an elderly, probably like housemaid, kind of walking with a tray with glasses of champagne. You can look to kind of the back right corner of the room, and there is a bar set up. Yes, this may be prohibition, but you know, when people have money, typically that's not a problem. You see two bartenders back behind, a female and a male, and if I can have Rima please describe who you are playing this evening.
Yes, hi there. I'm Marianne Wilkins, and I'm behind the bar serving up champagne that we definitely only have here for your yacht christenings, because we just have a lot of yachts we gotta christen before the end of the night. So that's all I'm here for, officer.
Not at all, sir.
Not at all. So many yachts. Wearing a kind of like crushed red velvet like vest and like a black shirt underneath it, and just a very simple circle skirt and an apron.
Okay.
I'm just cleaning off some glasses right now.
As our view pans left from the bar, we see that the west wall itself is dominated by a large painting that is almost nautical themed. It is beautiful artwork. And kind of taking in this beautiful painting, we find Taz, if you'll please go ahead and describe who you were playing this evening.
Hey. So looking at this painting is Ruby Celine. She's a young woman with reddish brown hair, kind of pinned back into a modern style, wearing a bowl hat that she borrowed from the wardrobe room of a small local theater that she lives above. She has a black handbag with her, nothing special or too noticeable, more so for function rather than fashion. And she's also wearing this beautiful red dress that's a bit more of a mature woman's style, but when she received the invitation directly from Miss Everett inviting her to this party, she immediately hopped on a subway to Brooklyn, where her father still lives in the brownstone house that she grew up in, and she darted up the stairs to her father's closet, where this dress still hung in its original packaging, as her mother never got the chance to wear it, and Ruby has just been waiting for the opportunity. So she's standing there a little bit nervous. This is her first time in a house this grand, seeing so much beautiful artwork that she didn't create herself. And she doesn't know anyone, so right now the artwork is her friend.
As our view kind of pans once again away from them, we see towards the fireplace, chairs have been set up for a concert in short rows, with 5 music stands at the front and chairs in an arc for the performers. We see kind of filtering through the crowd. I don't know, you can decide if you're interacting or kind of keeping to yourself. We have our last player, Tech, if you'll please introduce your character.
Atticus Levy is just more focusing on the stage and trying to take in everything around him. I wouldn't say he's interacting with anybody, but he, as a curator himself, kind of starting to notice etchings and at least some of the walls around and some of the jewelry that people would be wearing to see if there's anything occult, as he's created his own building, his own museum called, and make sure I have this right because I wrote it, Museum of the Underworld. Very creative. Out in Harlem.
Very nice. Awesome. The lodge itself, as you're all in this setting, is honestly very busy. There's a gramophone in the corner playing a gentle Mozart sonata. You can hear kind of the soft crackle of the record, the tinkling of the piano. It's pleasant, kind of in a contrast to the hum of conversation. There's a number of small groups of guests kind of milling around, talking to each other. They are dressed in their finery. This is a number of known socialites, actresses, businessmen. Anyone local to the area or familiar enough would recognize that even the mayor of Appleby is here. There's, again, just prominent socialites and kind of industry tycoons that are kind of in their smaller groups chatting. A woman kind of flits between all of them. She is small in stature, a little bit the slighter figure, a bob of short blonde curls. She's dressed in an expensive gown, and kind of as you enter, Dan, she does kind of flit up to you. Oh, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me. Name's
You
Dan.
can see
Dave Ruby. The name's Dave Ruby.
Oh, Dave. Yep, I thought that was you. You can see she's kind of squinting, and it doesn't take you long to realize this woman should be wearing glasses. From a distance, she has no clue who anyone is.
Where you cheaters, dollface?
Oh, well, it's been a moment since anyone's called me that. You would kind of recognize this is Mrs. Everett. This is the host of the evening.
It's fabulous. I'm glad I got to be a part of her life, and reminder that she is, in fact, a beautiful older woman in her early 40s. I'm sure.
She kind of flushes and says, "Oh, yeah, you just are too kind, and I need to go see to the rest of the guests. I know you're running a little bit late. Dinner's already been had. There are drinks, of course.
Okay, I hope we got some giggle water."
I'm so sorry. I was not. But yeah, as you kind of enter in, you're greeted by Clara Everett. The concert will be starting soon. Please feel free to grab a drink, mingle. I'm just gonna go make sure that all of the performers are ready. Yeah, it'll start promptly at 7, and then we have a special performance later this evening upstairs set up for everyone. That one should be something phenomenal. And she kind of flits back off through the crowd, kind of hands clasped behind her back, just meandering her way through. Yeah, the room is open for all of you.
Okay. Well, I think Dan's gonna have to make his way over to the old countertop there and see what he can get from this fabulous young lady in the with the cat's pajamas.
Yeah, we have all the giggle water.
Well, hi there, mister. What can I do you for?
Well, I was hoping you had some gin, because something I need on this wonderful evening.
Well, absolutely. We just got an import of gin just last night. Nice and fresh. I'll open up a new bottle for you.
Well, thank you very much, dear. I don't know if anyone's told you, but you're quite the doll face. You here with anybody?
No, I'm just here to work.
All right. Well, while you're getting that, I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna pop the lid off of it and get a glass out.
I was wondering if Evelyn was here. Have you seen her around lately?
Well, I don't think think so. No, not yet. She might be getting ready for the performance later.
Oh, have you seen her at all in the last couple days? Because she made her way up here, and we haven't been able to contact her. I just want to, make sure she's okay.
Well, that's an awful lot of concern you got there, mister. But I haven't really seen much. I've been trying to get ready for the event. We got a lot of thirsty people here. Very nice gin.
Well,
And
I was wondering, you have any clams? I've got 10 clams here that for any information you may have.
well, sir, they pay me just enough clams. I really haven't seen anything, mister. I really haven't. I just got here just a couple hours ago.
All right, well, I appreciate all the help, Dollface.
Just hand him his gin. Anything else I can help you with, sir?
Oh, that'll be all for now, sweetheart.
I'm just gonna take the money anyway. Sorry.
For Atticus to make his way to the bar also.
Okay.
How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing just great. What can I get you?
Just some of that, I think is that champagne back there? I don't.
Yeah, we have some champagne.
Yeah, just some champagne for me, if that's all right.
Yeah, I'll get that right for you.
I'll get a
Thank you.
flute out and I'll put a towel over it, because probably the bottle is like half the size of her torso, and she's like gonna kind of struggle. And then the other bartender is gonna grab it out of my hands and pop it for me, and then I will pour it for you.
Here you are, sir.
Like how are you doing today? I mean, asking a lot of questions. I'm not gonna say you're an officer. You just got a lot of questions, I heard.
Oh, I was just looking for a friend of mine.
I mean, okay. No, you're good. Like, no, I fully understand. By chance, do you remember working for a little shop back in the day?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. My name's Dave Roby. I'm not I don't know if I'm familiar with you, sir.
Dave Ruby. Yeah, no, I remember Dave Ruby. That makes sense. Perfect sense. Yeah. Do you mind if I get that champagne?
Well, yes, here you are. Sorry about that, sir. I'm afraid my hands might be a little too small to pop some of them corks, but I got it. Here you are.
You have perfectly sized hands, ma'am. No worries about that.
Oh, shucks.
Good seeing you again. What was your name this time?
I don't know quite what you mean this time, sir. Again, my name's Dave. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Dave Ruby. I'll remember that for next time. He's gonna make his way back to his seat. Like, very confused.
I'm like sweating now. It's like, oh my god, we might have a cop in here.
Ruby is still standing by herself, and she likes it that way. She doesn't really want to talk to anyone yet. But as she's looking at all of the art on the walls, she feels this like very strong urge to have her own art be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But she looks around and sees how crowded it is, and she's going to walk to find the ladies' room.
Okay. Yeah. How long, just out of curiosity, as you were kind of taking in these paintings, how much attention were you giving? Were you taking time to like closely inspect any of these paintings? Were you just kind of in passing looking at them?
Most of them I was looking at in passing, but I did see one that was a painting of the stars, which is what Ruby also paints. She likes painting constellations and the night sky. And she stopped and she looked at the brush strokes of that and the way that the stars were placed.
Okay. Nice. And kind of as you go to exit, you certainly can do so, kind of going through the walls to the would be into the east wing, so exiting through the doors to the right portion of the room if you were looking at the stage. Down the hallway you can see one of the doors is open, lights are on, and it is a very large bathroom. You see the floor is black and white tiled. There's 2 sinks set up in there, and kind of within it there's almost like 2 like water closets for, so there's like 2 separate toilets that would have doors to them as well. And it is just a bathroom.
Is there anyone else in here?
Not currently, no.
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk inside, and I don't know why I feel so strongly about this, but I am going to open my handbag and pull out some yellow paint and a paintbrush, and I am going to start painting swirls and waves on the underside of one of the sinks.
People easily enough to do. Uninterrupted, you're able to kind of paint this symbol, these swirls, this little bit of artwork onto the basin of this sink. Would you mind just going ahead and giving me our first sanity roll of the evening, just to get a baseline?
Yeah, sure. So let me roll my D100. So I want to roll under what my sanity is, right? Or do I just want
Yes.
to roll? Okay.
You want to roll under. So
I'm not gonna lie, I rolled pretty close to it. But I started with a 35 sanity and I rolled a 28.
Yep, that is underneath. So you are perfectly fine. There are no consequences. And for anyone watching, with Cthulhu, the goal is always to roll at or less than what all of our stats are on our players' sheets as our investigators make their way through this mystery. So yes.
So do I like subtract 28 from it,
Nope.
or does it stay at 35?
You stay at 35. There are no consequences. You succeeded your sanity check, is what that is. You are underneath what your max sanity or your current sanity, since they're the same right now, was. So you're perfectly fine. You paint this symbol. You feel that no one saw you do so, and you feel content. There's a little bit of, not relief in that urge to paint, but it's like it's subsided for now.
Yeah. And I will wash my hands and head back out into the party.
Okay. Stepping back in as you've all have kind of gotten your drinks, you see Clara Everett speaking to a gentleman, his back to the crowd, up towards where the concert is going to be taking place. You've seen that in the last few minutes, as you kind of re-enter into the room, the quartet has made an appearance. There are 3 gentlemen and a young lady, 3 violins and a cellist, all kind of setting up, getting ready, kind of doing those final tunes, final tuning on their instruments. There's conversation happening up there. You hear the phonograph get turned off, the gramophone, get turned off, and people slowly start to kind of make their way over to the seats that have been set out for this concert.
I'd like to swing by the bar and may I have a glass of champagne?
Why, yes. Here you are, ma'am. You just opened this bottle just a couple minutes ago.
Thank you so much. This is my first drink. And I'm going to walk over and have a seat at the show.
It's my first drink, too.
Everyone believes that.
Does the young lady look familiar at all to me, or?
You would, and anyone who is familiar enough with the quartet would recognize Evelyn Hale as being the first violinist. John Holliday is the group's cellist. And then the second and third violinists would be Alfred Carter and Stanley Mitchell. That is an A that I wrote.
I'm gonna go find Mr. Dan.
Dave. My name's Dave. I don't know why my accent changed suddenly.
Getting tired. I'm getting tired of you calling me.
Hey, Dave Diamond. There we go. I'm back.
Hey, that was Dan.
Don't ask questions. What can I do for you, Mr. Finch?
No, you're perfectly fine. Do you mind if I take this seat?
Not at all, sir. Free country, as far as we all know right now.
But now that is, I guess, yeah, it is a free country. It's like you see him walk over, and he's not using the cane. He's kind of just like twirling, like playing with it as he sits next to you. But as clumsy as he is, when he sits next to you, he lifts it and then slams it. Like as he puts it back down, you hear like a click, kind of giving away that whole like there's two parts to it. He does that click and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that." Do you really not remember me?
Mr. Levy, I'm quite sure I'm not sure what you mean.
Look, I know you have to play coy.
Mr.
for
Levy.
all these other.
Mr. Levy, I don't believe you have introduced yourself to me at all. And your last name is new to me, I'm sure. Mr. Levy? Quite sure we've never met before.
I've been around.
Mr. Levy,
your
I
kind.
appreciate all the things you want to do, and I'm more than happy to meet your acquaintance as Dave Roby.
As Dave Ruby. Well, you should know there's somebody that looks a lot like you, Mr. Ruby.
I get that a lot.
I'm sure. What you drinking there?
Just a little bit of gin.
Gin, man. Had to give it up myself. I can't go too hard into the spirits, so I stick to the lightest.
That's fair. It's not for everyone, some will say.
Some do say it is not for everyone. Man, I remember. Definitely liked his gin also.
Well, sounds like a man of exquisite taste.
He's doing everything he possibly can to get you to say. Like, you know what? That's what it was. My grandfather's watch went missing. And it took forever. I couldn't find it. My grandpa couldn't find it. My grandma, with all her wisdom and worry, wouldn't find it. That man found it for me. I mean, I have it.
He sounds like...
I have it with me.
Well, he sounds like quite the intelligent, sophisticated, and investigatory man. He sounds like he's really good at investigating. It's almost like if he was really good at investigating, he wouldn't tell you that he's really good at investigating, and he would ask that you kind of give him some space and leave him alone.
I guess we're both at work today, aren't we, Mr.
I'm quite sure I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, he's just gonna give a nod and like, I'll leave you to your drink then, sir.
Well,
And go back.
how's the museum business going, Mr.?
Museum's going great. We got a bunch of new things in. Just here looking to see if there's anything they might part ways with.
Well, I'm sure we're all here for something. It's good to know that you're here on business, sir. If only all of us wouldn't be
business?
here on business. Some of us are just here to enjoy the evening.
Of course you are. And here just to enjoy the evening. Are you sure?
we hear from the side of the room this grandfather clock dole out 7 rings as the clock strikes 7. At the front of our room, as this conversation is happening, and others as well, we see Miss Clara Everett kind of adjust her kind of sequined shawl of her dress. My dear friends and esteemed guests, it is my great pleasure to welcome you here tonight. You may expect an extraordinary evening. We'll begin with the performance of a famous work by one who I truly believe to be the most innovative composer of our time. Once we have enjoyed several of his compositions, you'll be free to mingle, enjoy the canapes, and of course, a drink or two. And then later this evening, there will be a surprise. But for now, let us welcome Mr. Henry Spencer and the Herald Quartet. And there is polite applause throughout the room as people kind of fully settle in. You see the gentleman that she was talking to turn for a moment, and there are a few gasps from the crowd, especially in the front few rows. You see standing before you at the kind of composer's stand a gentleman in his early 30s. Spencer is a tall man who at one point probably would have been considered extremely handsome. He's dressed in a thick gray woolen suit, and from certain angles his face is striking. There is a square jaw, dark eye, slightly shaggy dark hair. As he turns, however, you see a terrible wound to the right side of his face that is never properly healed. You see him kind of badly scarred and blind in one eye. His right eye is milky and clouded, the jaw crumpled in and pitted. For our investigator, for Mr. Dan Diamond, with your background, do you recognize this right away to be a bullet wound from a gunshot in close quarters? As he kind of turns, there's almost a look of contempt on his face as he kind of takes a glance over the audience before turning back as the quartet kind of settles into their chairs. You see the exceptionally tall cellist that you would recognize as John Holliday. And him and the second and third violinist lower themselves in. You see the lone female kind of looking almost mournful as she tunes one last time before settling in. She is a younger woman with a freckled face, long brown hair kind of plaited back and pulled over one shoulder. And without a word, we see Spencer turn to them and raise his baton. Does not introduce the music, does not introduce his quartet, immediately begins to direct them. The music itself, as it starts, is this almost dark and mournful, slow and soft, a gentle adagio that begins in a minor key. The cello is utilizing its lower register, the rich timbre of the strings, somber in its relentless notes. There are tears in the eyes of several members of the audience as you would maybe glance around at your fellow audience goers, your fellow attendees here. The players themselves, the quartet, fully absorbed, brows furrowed in concentration. You hear the first violin kind of suddenly soar up above, a jagged, chromatic melody cutting through the somberness of the piece. All of you are almost put on edge as you're listening. It's a sense of being torn somewhere between sorrow and fear, as if you're a child and there's something reaching out for you from the shadows. It's a weird sense of something deep inside of you that is unsettled in this moment. As if something is calling to you. And amid the obliquely scurrying quavers, you hear a voice almost carried on the melody, but there's no one singing. It makes almost ungodly sounds, unlike anything most of you have heard before. Dan, in the back of your mind, there is something eerily familiar about whatever voice has joined into this piece of music. A scratching inclination. You've heard this somewhere before. It almost sets your hearts into a sense of lamentation, like you're lamenting the loss of something that you haven't actually lost. For some of you, maybe it's the voice of a loved one that you lost long ago. For others, it's maybe the sound of a friend crying in anguish. It is unsettling, and you see the entire group, everyone here listening, in various states of being overwhelmed emotionally by this music. Abruptly, the music stops. The female violinist, Evelyn, stands crying out, violin dropping to the ground, hands going to her face. You see her music stand tip, the pages of music scatter out across the floor. There is blood trickling out from her eyes, down her face, dripping off of her chin. Her scarlet tears, a deep contrast to how ashen her face has become, a pale gray tone to it. She staggers past the other violinists and bolts into the east wing. The audience immediately disquieted. There are voices of concern, of agitation, of fear for some of them. Others simply sit there, mouths agape, staring at the door to the east wing. Miss Everett kind of leaps up from her seat. Oh, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It appears that Miss Hale has had a bit of a turn. We will see to her, and with any luck, all will be well for tonight's special performance later on. Please do enjoy your drinks. The evening is still young. If you need anything, of course, my staff are at your disposal. And she quickly exits after Evelyn into the east wing.
I think, seeing that, I'm gonna try and make my way over to the East Wing and see if I can sneak my way through those doors and try and tail the unfortunate pair.
Okay. You start to move towards the east wing. You're kind of not necessarily fighting through the crowd. A lot of the party goers have begun to get up to go and collect their coats and whatnot. They want nothing to do with what is happening. There are more than half of the party goers now are, I do not like what this was. We need to exit. Oh, that poor woman. There's just a conversation humming all around you. And you're kind of, again, having to kind of weave your way through the crowd after them. Spencer himself is still up at the front with the other three members of the quartet. What is everyone else doing?
Ruby is going to actually rush towards the band and start helping them by picking up all of the papers that's scattered on the floor.
Okay.
So she's just going to start gathering them into a pile and stand up and put them back on the violin stand.
Okay. For our other two, just have an idea of where everyone's going right now.
I'm gonna go. Atticus is gonna go back up to the bar, and just kind of get another drink after seeing that, and probably try to chat.
Okay. So we will circle back to that. Ruby, as you are kind of approaching the quartet, Spencer himself kind of seems overly perturbed at the situation. Not coming from a sense of concern per se, but you can tell he's agitated, might be the better word. The other three are kind of talking amongst themselves, and Alfred, the second violinist, kind of will get down on his knees with you and start collecting the papers with you. Just, we can sort this out. You certainly don't have to come help us, ma'am.
Oh, it's okay. I don't have much else to do, and I feel so bad. Your music was so hauntingly beautiful. I'm sorry that it ended the way that it did.
It's I've never seen anything like that happen. Evelyn normally plays so beautifully, and then to have that, I don't understand.
The song must have just got to her. It was really sad.
He looks, as you're talking about it, very nervous. Would be the one thing in close proximity to him. He seems nervous.
Are you okay?
Oh, of course, yeah. I think we, you know, I and you know, I think we're just gonna head upstairs and get set up for later, and then check on Miss Hale, of course. And he kind of like grabs the papers from you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, if you need anything, I guess we'll be up there. And he kind of grabs them from you. And if you want to go ahead and roll a psychology roll for me.
Okay. I'll roll first. And see what that's all about. I was supposed to roll within a 15, but I rolled a 27.
Okay, so that's just a standard failure. So you kind of try to take in maybe what's making him nervous, and you just can't quite put your finger on. Maybe it is just what happened with Evelyn. It's hard to tell maybe what has him so on edge. But you watch as Alfred and Stanley, the other violinist, pack up their violins and kind of exit through they're actually going to go up the stairs to the mezzanine, up to the second floor, and then exit off. You see John Holliday still there, the cellist, along with Spencer. But quickly, we're going to kind of pan over from this scene to Dan, who is following after. You were heading into the East Wing after them into the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. As you kind of exit through, you do bump into the maid, who does try and kind of say, I do think that you need to give Miss Hale and Miss Everett a few minutes to sort out what's going on back there. If you wouldn't mind just staying with the rest of the guests, we're going to have some canapes, some hors d'oeuvres coming out. There's plenty of more champagne and liquor if you'd like. And she's kind of holding a tray of champagne.
I've actually a childhood friend of Miss Hale. So I just want to check on her, and I'm going to palm her $2.
You're going to try and bribe. Okay, I would like you to roll me a fast talk.
My best persuasion stat. Damn it, that's an 82.
This again, this is an elderly woman, probably in her, see, I'm gonna say late 60s. The people are gonna get upset that that's not elderly, but for back then, yes.
For the 20s. Old
for
bitch.
the 20s. She's in like her mid to late 60s. Graying hair pulled back, just a very nice like all black outfit. Son, do I look like I would be so easily bribed? I would think that you would have a modicum of decorum. Now, if you would please rejoin the rest of the guests and leave the ladies to clean up in the restroom. And she's just like the no nonsense, absolutely not. She is standing in front of this door now.
All right, I'm going to just accept that I'm getting past this woman at this point and just make my way out.
She's a relatively intimidating older woman.
I feel intimidated.
And kind of as you turn to walk back into the room are two investigators at the bar.
I'm not from around here, or at least not around immediate. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that was not supposed to happen.
No, it wasn't actually. But that was the young lady that gentleman was asking about earlier. He seemed pretty worried about her. I wonder if he knows something.
I'm sure he knows plenty. And nothing at all. I'm not 100% sure myself. How long have you been working here?
Well, just a couple of months while I'm trying to make ends meet. Just enough time for me to make it big.
Make it big.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to be an actress and a star and a dancer.
Actress, star, and a dancer. In the South, we have a lot of what are they called? You could say stars, and they do similar things like that. And you're also bartending?
Mm-hmm. It pays awful well.
I think you're gonna make it. That's just me. My grandma used to always say, whenever a beautiful woman tells you she's gonna do something, she's gonna do it.
That's right. Grandma's a smart woman.
Yes, she is. Bit scary too. What was your name again? I'm sorry. I'm real bad with names.
That's all right. I'm Mary Ann Wilkins.
Mary Ann Wilkins. Mary Ann. That's a name I won't forget. Do you know where the owner of the house is?
I think she's probably trying to figure out what's happening to her quartet right now, mister.
You watched her exit after Evelyn.
That was more, sorry, above table. That was more of like a.
I know. I just wanted to make sure.
Drinking.
I wanted to make sure that Marianne knew. So.
Oh, okay. All right. If you like, I can go ahead and head back that way. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Drink for sure.
It works.
I'll raise up the rest of my little champagne glass.
Good. Well, to hopefully a better night.
Yes, and I sure hope that violinist is all right.
Yeah, hope so also. She has good people looking after her, maybe?
I ain't never seen anything like that.
Weirdly enough, I have. And as he says that, he just downs his drink.
I'm gonna draw mine too, yeah.
Just like give her a nod. Again, you have a nice night. I'm gonna go over to the stage and see maybe if they know exactly what's going on.
All right. Good luck.
He just grabs his cane and just kind of walks over to the stage.
We cut back to Ruby as Atticus also approaches. You are kind of left standing there. You see John Holliday kind of twirling one end of his mustache. Spencer is just grabbing a few of his things. Looks like he's about to walk off, and you are stood there.
Yeah, I'm still not really sure what to do. No one has spoken to me since I've been here. I haven't really spoken to anyone. I'm not really sure what I should do at this point because everyone is scattering.
Mm-hmm.
So I will turn around and see this man walking towards me and say, "Hi, do you think everyone is leaving?"
Well, it seems like most people are leaving. I'm not sure if everyone, but hi, my name is Atticus. What would be your name?
I'm Ruby. Ruby Celine.
Ruby Celine.
I
Yes.
will hold my hand out to shake yours.
Oh, he'll gently shake your hand and give you a nod. Nice to meet you, Miss Ruby. There's actually a lot of rubies here tonight.
Oh, yeah? I've actually never met another one before.
Yeah, I just met a gentleman tonight with the last name Ruby. But
Oh, that's so funny. My mom named me after my birthstone.
really. So, before all the excitement, how did you like the show?
It honestly wasn't what I was expecting. It was beautiful, but also heartbreaking and made me think of things that I haven't really thought of in a while, if that makes any sense. How
Yeah.
did you like it?
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. It brought me back to my youth, which is weird because if someone's playing with the strings, it usually makes me feel happy, but
Yeah.
maybe it's just something about this place.
Yeah, it seems to have everyone in a bit of a tizzy. So what brings you here? Were you invited by Miss Everett, or are you a regular guest at these things?
Oh, I'm not a regular guest at all. Uh, I'm here just mostly to look for new artifacts for my museum. Maybe
Oh,
you've
you
heard
run a
of it.
museum.
I'm guessing you haven't heard of it. It, it is the Museum of the Underworld. It just opened out in Harlem.
Okay. I live in the Lower East Side.
Really?
Yeah,
How you enjoying that down there?
I love it. I actually have had my own artwork in a few galleries around the Lower East Side and Manhattan. Maybe I'll make my way to your museum someday.
Maybe you have anything occult worthy, I guess you could say.
Uh, no, not intentionally.
Okay. Maybe one day, if you walk across or run across something that, you know, just makes you feel comfortable with creating something in that nature, you could swing by the museum.
Absolutely.
Also, do you have anything, or have you seen anything tonight that might feel like it reached out to you?
I didn't see anything. The only thing that felt like it reached out to me was the music that was playing.
Just the music. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's kind of my way of asking if you've ever, or if you felt anything here that would be worthy of the museum. I feel like most of the
No.
I feel like most of the art needs to attach itself to someone before it feels right at home.
Mm-hmm. No, I haven't noticed anything. I honestly haven't left this room though, so I don't know. Maybe we'll have better luck outside of here.
Maybe. I was just gonna see if our artist was okay. I was gonna head that way. Would you like to join?
I look around. I don't have anything else going on. And yeah, it would be nice to have someone to be company with.
Great. He'll just try to like extend his elbow out a bit. See if
Yeah,
you take
I
it.
will loop my arm around his.
Right.
As you are beginning to walk away, one thing you do kind of note in the area is kind of as you were turning to head the one way, Spencer does kind of walk quickly away from John. And kind of left on his composer's stand, there is the sheet music from what was just played left on the stand. John as well kind of finishes packing up his cello and begins to exit into the west wing. He does not at this moment head up the mezzanine quite yet to go up to the second floor.
And we did notice that the
Speaking
sheet.
But speaking of things that reached out to us, maybe you want to check that out? And I point at the sheet music.
You wanna go up there and touch the music that just led to that woman's face bursting out in blood?
Oh, I guess I didn't really think about it like that. I've never seen anything like that before, so I wasn't sure if maybe she got bit by a stray dog or something.
Like, I don't know what type of stray dogs y'all got up here in the north, but I mean, we can go look at it. I'm pretty sure it won't cause any trouble taking a look,
Okay.
or at least I can be there to support you while you take a look.
We can totally go take a look together.
Yeah, you can definitely go take a look. I'll be right here. I'll come up there with you. He's gonna keep his arm looped with you and walk up with you. He just takes a step like to the side of the podium so he's not looking at the notes.
I am now a lot more nervous than I was 47 seconds ago. So I'm not going to touch this sheet music, even though I did touch all of the other papers that fell on the floor. And I kind of have a little bit of an internal panic about that.
And then you touched me.
I am going to look at the sheet music, though.
You kind of lean down to inspect the sheet music, and you see kind of typed out across the top, it does say, "The Siren's Call," composed by Henry Spencer. The score itself is handwritten in a dark red ink. Kind of, just at the first glance, and again, when you were looking before, it doesn't seem any different than any other sheet music you've seen. The ink might be a little weird, but as you're kind of taking a closer look in this moment, the piece itself is actually incredibly complex in its harmonies. Not something that just any musician would be able to look at and just play. Like, it would not be a piece to sight read. Beyond that, if you're wanting to inspect it any closer, you could certainly roll an occult check if you'd like. As could your lovely friend if he so choose.
He's just gonna noticing you not, bursting into flames or bleeding anywhere. So we go, huh, and just kind of peek around you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm now looking at the music also. Yeah, if we could both roll.
Mm-hmm. You certainly can. Yep.
Yeah, I rolled. I failed.
You failed. Okay.
There's no way I failed.
Please say that and roll a 100.
Rolled a 12.
Oh, is that underneath your 5th percentile?
Yes, my 5th percentile is a 14.
That is an extreme success. So as you're looking at this piece, something about the ink catches your eye first. You're not entirely certain that this is regular ink. The coloration of it is your first clue, and just as you're looking and how it's kind of aged, I guess how it's set into the paper, you're pretty certain this was not just regular ink. There's more than likely something else mixed into the ink. More than likely this would be blood. As you stare at it a little bit longer, you start to be able to pick out symbols almost innocuously hidden within the music itself. They seem to almost, in like your mind's eye, it's almost like the notes shift a little into a symbol and shift back into the note. You wouldn't see it at first glance, but you, having been trained in matters of the arcane and occult, recognize that magic has been woven in to this piece of music. Ruby, as you're looking at it, it's kind of that, again, that sense of just, it's a little off-putting. And you can't quite put your finger on why. And the longer you're looking at it, you think for a moment, you see some of the notes shift. and it's almost in a familiar swirling pattern. But then it shifts back and you kind of adjust and look again, and the sheet music hasn't moved. The notes are all in their same place. It's just a piece of music.
Does it mean anything to you?
I'm pretty sure that's not. Sorry, I take notes. I'm pretty. I'm pretty sure that. Nope, I know what I said. I'm pretty sure that that's not regular ink, or at least not regular ink I've seen.
Oh, interesting.
It's
You know, when I looked at the music, I started getting that same feeling I got while I was listening to it. Just for a moment, though. I'm not sure. Maybe that was in my head.
maybe. Is it shifting for you? Is it moving around a bit?
It did. But then it stopped, and I didn't know if I was seeing things or this is. I haven't been drinking much since the, prohibition. So I wasn't sure if it was the alcohol.
Okay. No, it's not the alcohol. It's doing it. It's moving a lot, and you can tell he's like taking a step back. I'm pretty sure it's mixed with blood.
Oh. I'm also going to take a step back and more like in disgust than anything else.
Actually, and you can tell he's starting to get really kind of into it. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, and he's looking around. He walks over, and I would like to attempt to grab the sheet and put it away.
Yeah,
in my shirt.
You pick it up, no problem. At this point, everyone in this immediate area is kind of wandered off. There's a handful of people at the bar. Most people are leaving. Phyllis has kind of set her tray down, and at the moment you do not see Phyllis being the maid, sorry. You do not immediately see her. You see a lone person standing, looking at one of the paintings, very much entranced in what she is looking at. Otherwise, it is relatively calm, and no one has, outside of potentially, I guess, Dan, I'm not quite sure where you were heading, no one else seems to have eyes on you at this moment.
Yeah, he's just gonna grab it and fold it, put it in his shirt.
Okay.
I think the best thing we can do from here is to mosey on somewhere else, if that's all right with you.
Absolutely, I am ready to go.
Yeah, and yeah, just gonna walk right off stage.
Dan, what were you doing post being kind of turned away from entering the East Wing?
So I'm just gonna make my way back to the main room. I'm seeing that all the chorus music, I don't know what the fucking things are called.
The sheet music.
Thank you, sheet music. That's what I said. Seeing that those are all picked up, I'm gonna just make my way over to the bar and keep an eye on the door that to the East Wing that I was so rudely stopped from pursuing them down. You know what I'm trying to say. And it's hard to think and talk with an accent at the same time. Just gonna take up a seat and move my way back over to Miss Wilkins and see if I can entertain them with my dapper appearance a little bit more.
Cutting over to Mary Ann, at this point, Chad, the other bartender, was extremely kind of off-put by what happened. Is like, this ain't worth the money, and kind of just grabbed his stuff and quickly exited along with, again, a good chunk of the guests. I would say there's maybe 4 or 5 that are still here that have come up, grabbed champagne again, are kind of talking amongst themselves. For you, there is the thought in the back of your head, you're not sure if this was something else or if this was something that you had done. You're not entirely sure which. Because there is that hesitation, you know sometimes things aren't all that they seem. You're not entirely sure what is going on with Evelyn right now, but there is a chance that either way. You see Ruby and Atticus talking. Probably not me paying that much attention to that. You see one guest standing looking at a piece of artwork not too far off from where you are, and we see Dan Diamond rejoining you at the bar. And I think we maybe want to take just a quick break here. Kind of restroom, drinks, anything anyone needs. We will be back with all of our lovely viewers. Hopefully now with Streamlabs working.
God willing.
And we will pick up here shortly.
All right.
See you guys in a little bit. and welcome back, everyone. We are going to kind of get back into our scene as we last left it. Our piece of music played for the evening, people thoroughly unsettled. We have not detective, I'm
Not
doing
detective.
it now too. Private investigator Dan making his way back to the bar where Mary Ann Wilkins has just said goodnight to Chad as he made a hasty exit behind some of the guests. We have Ruby and Atticus also making their way back across to the room, and we will pick up at the bar.
Okay. So,
Another glass of gin?
yeah. Yeah, I'll take another glass, sweetheart.
So
All
how
right.
many have you finished at this point?
Just one.
Just as a point. Okay,
Just one.
good to know.
Intentionally sipping it slowly.
Okay.
So I'm making it
You're
look.
good.
I'm making it look like I'm drinking more than I am.
Easy enough.
All right. I'll hand you over a new one.
Okay. So, how long you been working this gin joint?
Oh, well, just a couple of months until I make it big.
Make it big. What are you trying to do?
Well, I heard there's a street called Broadway where all the singers and dancers perform, and it's really kicking off soon. So I'm living right in the city in Manhattan, and I'm gonna audition for every single part I can until they let me in.
Manhattan. What are you doing all the way out here then?
Well, pays quite nicely, and they do have drivers come to pick us up, so I don't have to make my way over here myself.
Well, that's certainly interesting. I hope the best for you, Dollface. You certainly got the face for the pictures.
Oh, thank you. They keep saying they'll call me back, so maybe next weekend.
All right, yeah. Auditioning for anything?
Well, I'm auditioning for everything. They won't tell me what the parts are anymore, though.
That seems like a strange thing. Not in
They
the
just
showbiz.
keep saying to come back later.
What do they have you doing on these interviews?
Well, mostly they just have me leave.
Have you leave?
Yeah. It's been a little while since they've let me in the door. They keep saying they're closed, but I hear music and singing and dancing inside.
Yeah, I heard leaping, Dollface. I got very concerned there for a minute. I thought
Oh,
they
no,
had you just jumping in front of them.
Leaving.
say, I don't-
It's
a strange-
I just keep showing up during their lunch break.
Well, unfortunately, I don't.
But they would tell me to show up at that hour, so I don't know why they would tell me to come at that time if that's when they all eaten.
I think I'm just gonna finish my drink and I just chug this shit.
I think I'm a lovely singer.
And then she's just gonna start singing. It's gonna sound like the most awful thing you've ever heard in your entire life.
Atticus and I within earshot of that at this point.
Oh, for sure.
They take sanity.
Ruby's gonna look at Atticus and be like, "Oh my, I thought the violin made me sad."
Emotional.
Just for that burn, please note just somewhere that you technically have an advantage on your next roll of your choice.
Yeah, Atticus is just gonna be like, do you know where that's coming from?
I'm gonna just like point like with my pinky like at the bartender, but like try to make it not obvious. But if she's looking at me, she's gonna see it.
Oh,
Nah,
oh.
I'm lost in the sauce. I'm feeling the music right now.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, Atticus is just gonna kind of look down and be like, "Oh, bless her heart." She said that she was gonna. She said she was gonna make it big. You know what? Maybe this is just. She's been drinking. We've all been drinking. Maybe that's like. It's just the. It's not. Maybe we're not hearing it right. I don't think I drank that much. I would like to get another drink. How about you?
Yeah, and I look down at my empty glass. I would absolutely love one. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe we can get her to drink a bit more. Stop some of that noise.
Get the bartender drunk.
That is certainly an option.
And we just go. I would go back up to the go back up to the bar.
And then I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop singing, and I'll go.
Oh, some more customers. Well,
Yeah.
as much as I would love to keep serenading you.
Face
That's
might
quite
go
all right, doll.
down. Hello again.
Okay.
At least
Taz
not OBS this
freeze
time.
Discord.
My Eldritch powers are too strong for the stream.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay, are we all back? Are we at the right sync?
I think
I do not have Taz
This
back.
is not back.
it's just
Uh-oh. Okay.
you got this.
More singing. No, I was
Just want to
kidding.
give a shout out to our lovely viewers who are sticking with us through
Oh,
all of this.
God.
I please have another glass of champagne.
You can have as many glasses of champagne as you want, darling.
Did I please? I see. Do you hear me?
Oh, honey, that was like forever ago that we said that. Oh no.
This is in every horror movie ever.
I hear all of you. I
This is going well.
This is in the poltergeist. This is in the poltergeist. I know it is. This...
I'm in fact slowly infecting every single one of my players' homes with
I hear all.
spooky vibes. Oh no, Taz.
He's in the TV.
No! I was waiting for it, but no. Yay?
Oh, hello. Am I
Hello.
back?
Hello.
Hi.
I think you
Yes.
are. I don't knock on wood. Everyone knock on wood
You're
right
good.
now.
I haven't got no wood. It's-
Hi, welcome back. You can have as much champagne as you would like.
Man.
Please, I am having a very confusing night.
Oh, trust me, sweetheart, we all are. I will hand her a new glass of champagne and start rinsing out her old glass. And, just look over at Dave Ruby, and say,
Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to keep serenading you later because I gotta help these customers.
Oh, that's quite all right there, Dollface. You're fine. Please, by all means.
Ah, Mr. Ruby. Miss Ruby. This was the Ruby I was talking to you about.
I'm clearly no relation.
No. First name to surname, stuff like. Oh. I think I talked to her. And
It's
it's
a
fine now.
Everyone now has refreshed drinks. You've all been cross-introduced. Pointed out that you could, in fact, be Ruby if you so choose to pursue that. And we are here.
Nice.
No. I don't think that would ever
be a thing that would happen.
Well, I'm gonna try and not take that personally. Anyways,
You can
What
though.
type of person would have two same letter names? Like that's a Ruby. Like why would they have the same first letter names? That wouldn't even make sense to me. Is that something they do up here very often?
no, not
No.
typically.
Not typically. Okay. I don't think I've ever met anybody with two names, first and last, that have the same letter. How about you, Mr. Ruby?
Not never.
Not. Wait, an accent there?
Where's Joe's character from now?
This is the real Dan Diamond.
I'm the real dirty dick.
This man's from Georgia now.
He's the man of the people. He goes out and just travels the country.
Yeah, see? Not now, never.
He's actually a linguist.
Nice.
Studies dialects of major American cities.
Oh God.
Yeah. He's gonna Atticus is just gonna take a sip of his drink. So have y'all walked around here very much? I mean, we went up on. Never mind. We did not. We walked around and like looked at some of the music that was on the floor and things like that. Have y'all been anywhere else here? This is a real big place.
I haven't really left this room yet except to go to the bathroom.
Well, I just love looking at the paintings, like that person over there. We should go over and look at the painting with them.
Can I roll an inside check on Miss Wilkins?
You can actually, what I will have you roll is going to be either psychoanalyze or psychology. We'll give you slightly different things, but either one you can choose.
Well, my psychoanalyze is a 1.
Obviously that one.
So we're gonna go with psychology, which is a 26. So high hopes.
Hey,
Yes, high hopes.
46. Really nailed it.
High it was.
Nailed it first try.
As far as you can really tell, they're no different. They're just they want to go look at the artwork.
Such a sweet, naive girl.
Yes.
All right, let's walk on over there, and I guess we can introduce ourselves since we're all here.
You approach kind of over to where this woman is standing, taking in this artwork. And from a distance, this artwork looks to be a painting of a ship. As you approach, you kind of, for the first time, take in the features of who is relatively a striking woman. Very tall, lithe, the contrast of very dark jet black hair to kind of a white lacy dress that she wears. Very pale skin. She has kind of thicker black winged liner, a very deep red lip. And as you approach, she kind of is standing there holding her flute of champagne and just says, "Extraordinary, isn't it?" As she looks up at this painting.
It's beautiful. What is it that you find so intriguing about it?
Well, it inspires such harsh emotion, doesn't it? As you kind of all look up at this painting, it is a painting of a ship. It is, you would know, Ruby, this is an oil painting. Very well done. It shows a ship listing to one side, very rough waters threatening to overtake the ship. Kind of lapping hungrily at what appears to be almost a sinking deck, as it's listed far enough that it appears to be taking on water. If anyone wanted to roll either an appraise, or if you have skill in painting, you could certainly roll that to get a little more insight into it.
Could I roll a spot
I
hidden
will
check?
do that.
Spot hidden is more so finding something. This is your ability to understand artwork or to appraise something of what could be of value.
Okay.
I rolled with my painting stat and got past my 50%, like under it.
So a hard success.
A hard success. Yep.
You step forward and you're very familiar with artwork. And you start to look at the brushstrokes, the care that was put into this painting. And you start to notice smaller details. The passengers, as you can kind of see the people on the deck of the ship, there appear to almost be in a state of extreme terror. Others look to be like their mouths open wide in screams, or maybe twisted into a feature that reminds you of someone laughing hysterically. You catch one detail in particular for a painting that is mostly in navies and whites, grays, blacks. It's very monochrome almost. There is a small yellow detail in the crow's nest that at first you think to maybe be a person. And you look closer, and you recognize what this detail is. It's this very similar swirl that you've hidden in quite a few of your own paintings.
Oh.
And for a minute, you kind of straighten back up and blink, and that yellow swirl is not where it was. You can't seem to pick it out again. And that urge in the back of your mind is back. The urge to paint that somewhere else.
You're right. This is a very interesting painting.
Did you know that this particular piece of artwork, as well as most of the other ones here, actually Miss Clara Everett herself painted? She's quite a gifted young woman. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I did know that she was a gifted artist. I didn't realize that these were her own works.
Yes, most of the artwork in the house is of her own composition, as much as she supports, other artists, composers, the like. She's quite talented in and of her own. And she'll kind of turn to all of you and kind of like hold her hand out. Marianne, you would recognize this as Gloria Day. She is a operatic soprano. Well known for singing on Broadway, performing up and down the East Coast, but she does kind of hold her hand out to whichever gentleman would find themselves closer. Gloria, Miss Gloria Day, and kind of just extends her hand.
I would take her hand. Again, give her a very gentle shake as I bow. Nice to meet you, Miss Day. My name would be Atticus.
It is a pleasure to meet you, all of you. I don't know.
I will extend my hand as well and introduce myself. My name is Ruby Celine. I'm an artist like Miss Clara Everett.
I do believe she has mentioned you in passing, something about painting the skies as they truly should be, or some sort.
Wow, that's the biggest compliment I've ever gotten.
And she'll, having shook your hand, Atticus, she'll say, "It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance." And you, and she'll look between Marianne and Dave Ruby? I don't remember what your
Dave
name
Ruby.
is.
It's definitely Dave Ruby.
That's what you do. Just adjust the suspenders, perfect.
So she puts her hands out to me.
Mhm.
Okay.
For you to shake.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am. Dave Ruby. I work for the New York Post. I'm here to write an article about the art we have and the music that we've all been blessed with to hear this evening.
Oh, well, then you're definitely going to want to stick around for the performance later. I had a special piece written for me by Spencer to sing alongside the quartet later on. Hopefully, Evelyn is feeling better. I don't know what dramatics that was before, but it's
Right.
entirely unprofessional.
How long has she been working here?
Let's see. Evelyn joined the quartet a few months ago, I suppose.
I thought someone else was working. What was her name again? I just looked towards Miss Marianne Wilkins. I forget the name. What did I say it was before?
Well, you said Evelyn?
Evelyn. Yeah, that's right. There was an Evelyn that used to be part of that quartet, right?
Oh, that is Evelyn who's with it now. You must be thinking of... Oh, was it... Lindsay or something of the sort.
Was it Felicity or something like that?
That's it. Yes. You know, she very abruptly just left. And
Right.
then, of course, they replaced her with Evelyn. And Evelyn is truly talented, but she's young.
Is there
Prone to hysterics, as it would seem.
is there an insight check or anything I can make for that?
You're gonna love the answer. There is psychology and there is psychoanalysis.
Sick.
But as other
Gonna nail
people,
this.
again, are part of this, can also choose to roll, or if you think there is another applicable skill, you can always
Oh.
make a case for something else.
I'll roll psychology.
Is this part of fast talking? Could I be fast talking her in this? To see if she's tripping up on what she's saying?
If you want to try to trip her up, you could certainly roll fast talk and then try and get her to reveal something. That is more your ability to sway a situation versus you're trying to see what if she's telling the truth.
Okay. All right. So, real quick, just to get my notes right, Evelyn took over the position, from what I know, a month ago.
Mhm. Sounds about right, yeah.
And what she just said was months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for her, she's been very blasé about this conversation. So time.
Okay. All right.
So she may not be overt. You have to roll. You don't know.
So, I thought Felicity was kind of the star that y'all had here. So what made her just decide to quit? Was it something that maybe you did, or was it something with the composer?
Oh, well, I've never performed with them before. Now, I have seen many of the quartet's performances, of course, back in the city. Tonight was just supposed to be a special thing.
Where do they? Just for my notes, where they normally perform in the city?
This is called GM Panic. The main stage. I don't know. Don't ask me questions, Joe.
I'm trying to
They
fast talk
perform
you.
all up and down the East Coast.
And is it always?
Quite in
I just cut her
demand.
off. Is it always with what the hell's his name? Is it always with Mr. Spencer?
Well, it is his quartet that he did put together. He is the composer.
Have you worked with Mr. Spencer before?
No.
Oh, have you seen him in the way he interacts with his talent?
Well, he just directs them.
Well, I mean, is he, I just want to get the whole story. Is he is he an upstanding citizen, or is he kind of give them a little bit of the sly, if you know what I mean?
Well, I'm certain I don't know what you mean. He is relatively new and up and coming. He kind of just showed up one day, and everyone is very quickly well aware.
Just
of his
showed up.
presence.
I mean, that's where do we have any news of where he came from? I mean, I just pull out a notepad and just start writing notes. Again, this is all just for the article. I want to make sure we have a full comprehensive view of this up and coming amazing composer. I want to make sure that we can, tell his story and everything that's going on out there.
Now I will say you can roll a fast talk. Let's see how successful you are getting her to answer. Anyone else who was going to roll that psychology or psychoanalyze?
I rolled a 9 in psychology, so regular.
A 9?
I
58.
hate dice. I'm a strict, again, I hate digital dice more. I don't like dice. Big enemy of dice. And I refuse to fall into this. I refuse to fall into this, you need to pray to the dice gods bullshit.
I think you do.
Fuck
Hey,
Pray to
it
Cthulhu.
works when you pray to
Fuck
the
that.
dice gods. It fucking works. I stole a bag of holding a week ago.
Was anyone else rolling psychology on this conversation?
I failed. Yeah, I rolled
Failure?
a 58.
I rolled 100.
Ruby is not rolling. She's not really paying attention because now she's so intrigued by the painting and searching for what she's seen that she can't look away from it.
Beautiful. We're going to circle back to that. Thank you for letting me know how invested you are. Okay, so we're going to quickly cut to our psychology roll. There is something slightly off with her answers. It may not be that she is necessarily lying, but she gives the air of someone who purposefully is blasé or being very she's somewhat putting on a show with her answers. She's not just being an honest, you're having a one-on-one conversation and she's just answering questions. She's not doing that. This is a bit of her show personality. She is answering. They're not necessarily lies. She's not overtly trying to mislead, but she's also not being straightforward.
Ma'am, I see that you like to perform.
Well, of course.
By chance, do you have the ability to give us straight answers?
Ooh, okay.
I'm not trying to be rude. It's just my grandma always taught me, if a fox is talking in circles, you're probably in a trap. So, just looking for something a bit more concrete.
Your grandmother sounds like a very wise person.
I keep hearing that tonight.
I'm gonna give it. You know what? I will give that to you. What straight answer would you like? Since you're going to be forward, I suppose I can do so as well.
I think the answer I'm mostly looking for is our friend here, Mr. Ruby, as he so says.
Thank you.
He wants to know. He wants to know a little bit about his friend. What is it? Felicity? Or are you looking for more of an answer towards Mr. Spencer?
Well, certainly would love as much information as you could possibly give about both of them for our article.
If you don't mind.
As far as I know, and as far as most people within, our circles, no, he sort of just, losing my voice, he sort of just showed up. He let's see, would have been, I suppose around this time, 4 or 5 years ago. He immigrated over from somewhere in Europe, I think England, and he's made quite a name for himself. He's drawn quite of attention. He has, of course, Miss Clara as his patronaire. He produces lovely pieces.
You get all that down, Mr. Ruby?
Oh,
Have,
absolutely,
many
Mr.
questions
Mr.
tonight?
Levy. I think that's all I have. All the questions I have for this wonderful lady.
She kind of straightens, adjusts her dress, hands her now empty flute of champagne to Mary Ann. Very just like, this is yours now. And, well, if that is all, and will kind of make her exit. She kind of goes past Phyllis, and you hear her say, I'm going to retire briefly to get changed. I will see everyone upstairs, of course, for the performance. And she just is very, like, huffy now after the last comment from Mr. Ruby. And she is going to exit into the West Wing.
I think you upset her.
Oh, that wouldn't be the first time I upset a dame.
I'm gonna, now that it seems like there's less people like guarding the women's restroom, and since I'm like staff, I'm gonna go see if Evelyn is still in there.
As the three of you start to, I assume, turn to head that direction, you quickly realize that Ruby is still sat staring up at this painting, a look of concentration on their face. Ruby, it is, again, you keep looking over every inch of this painting because you know you saw this symbol. You're so certain you saw it, and you just can't find it, and that kind of itch in the back of your head keeps getting a little bit stronger the longer you stare at this painting. The urge to paint that symbol or add it to the painting, you're not quite sure, but that urge is like growing stronger and stronger, that kind of itch in the back of your head.
Am I still around everyone?
They had all, I would assume, had started to turn and begin to walk away before realizing you were not following.
So this is later, so I'm still there looking at the painting. Okay. So I'm gonna look around. Is any other guests around me?
Outside of you and your investigators, no one is in the immediate area in this moment, no.
I feel like it would be such a betrayal to paint over someone else's artwork, but I am going to pull out a little brush and dip it in my paint, and I'm going to draw a little swirl on the frame, on the underneath of the frame.
Okay. Are you trying to hide this from the other three who have just started to walk away?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't stop myself from doing this. Like, I have to.
I would like you to roll me sleight of hand.
Sleight of...
No.
Oh, God. Oh,
I
that is
was about
not
to
a good
look.
shot for me.
I was about to say.
I roll like at advantage.
You
remember,
do
like...
have, so you can roll twice, take the lower number.
So sleight of hand again. Yeah, so I had to get a 10, and my lower number was a 14.
You do have luck. If you should like to spend 4 luck points to succeed on this roll, please feel free to do so.
I am gonna do that. Okay. I'm gonna use my luck, and I'm gonna make it a 10.
Perfect. So you very quickly and very deftly, almost moving not entirely of your own accord, paint this yellow swirl to the bottom of this frame. And you're kind of straightening up, and as the others turn, all they see is you kind of just looking for something in your purse before closing it and turning your attention to the group. Again, that itch somewhat subsided.
Yeah, I feel relief, but at the same time, like, I don't know why. I don't feel good about this, but I do feel better and I'm going to turn around and join everybody else.
Okay.
I guess I'll go back to join Atticus with whatever they were doing since they kind of buddied up with me earlier.
Would this be a spot hidden check?
If you knew to be looking for something,
Okay,
I would say yes.
got it.
Because they successfully were able to sleight of hand this happening. Again, all you saw as you turned back, because they were not following, was them digging in their purse.
Gotcha.
But you all begin to make your way toward the east wing. Stepping in, you see a straight, narrow hallway. It does have lights. It's not as well lit as the room you were previously in. Looking down the hallway, you see 3 doors along the left-hand side. Miss Ruby and Mary Ann would both be familiar with the second door being the bathroom. And I would say that Mary Ann also would know that the first room was the kitchen. That very first door on your left as you step into this hallway.
Is that the bathroom that Evelyn went into?
That is the direction you saw her exit.
Oh, okay.
Is into this wing, yes.
Okay. Because I definitely want to check the bathroom and see if she's in there.
Okay. You can head straight to the bathroom. As you pass the kitchen door, if everyone wanted to just quickly just roll a listen check for me.
I'm a
Just
bartender.
for
I'm good
no
at listening.
reason.
I can listen. I'm such a good listener.
That's 37.
No, I'm not.
37, so no.
I passed the
Sure,
roll.
I failed.
I passed the roll.
I did not.
Okay, so we have 1 success. The 3 of you kind of go right past this kitchen door. You hear, kind of as you're passing this kitchen door, it's almost like a wet slapping sound.
I mean, we all know what that sound is.
It's the cooks high-fiving. Okay.
You're you hear it just, yeah, it is a wet slapping sound, and it's kind of interspersed with an occasional grunt.
Yep, that makes sense. That tracks.
They're making macaroni. Macaroni in a pot.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna try and peek my head in there.
Okay.
Because
You-
I mean, if
as
someone's
everyone-
fucking putting it down, you gotta make sure it's consensual at least.
As the other 3 continue walking past, you open the kitchen door. It is not locked. And you step in. It is a kind of a sprawling room. It is a very large kitchen.
I'm glad it's large.
It is meticulously ordered and organized. There is a large sink mounted to the wall, a drain board attached, kind of set on 4 legs. It has beautiful, lovely, tap work to it. You see an icebox in the corner. A huge black oven dominates the majority of one wall. A series of individual doors on the front. A large copper kettle sits upon it. There's brass pans hung along the wall, several freestanding cabinets, which you could assume are filled with various cooking paraphernalia. There is a door kind of where the wall sort of juts out as you're looking into the kitchen. The kind of straight in front of you, there's another door that is mostly closed. And as you pause for a moment, that is where you hear...
What? What do I hear? What do I hear? Why don't you paint me a word picture? Paint me a word picture. What do I hear and say?
You don't see anything. You
Okay,
just
so then
hear
the
the
closet.
sound of something heavy hitting something wet.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Mm-hmm.
I hate this so much.
Yep.
There is hard impact into something
sure.
like squelchy and wet.
Why does this just keep getting worse?
There's tenderizing some chicken.
I'm the
okay?
worst one to have gotten this listen check.
Do you continue? Do you go look through the door?
Yeah. I need to fucking
Oh, peeping Tom.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You
I'm dick, if you know what I mean.
give you psychic damage. Test me. You open the door to what ends up being the pantry, kind of a prep area. It is a small, dark room. It does not have a window. The only light you see is a couple of lanterns giving off light within this room. You see there are barrels and sacks of food kind of packed tightly onto shelves. Meat hangs from a hook in the ceiling off in one corner. You see Phyllis, who had disappeared from earlier out in the main room, over like a prep table with a kind of a large metal knife, it looks, kind of stabbing into a large piece of meat, and she kind of whirls toward you. Some flecks of the blood coming off of this knife, and just says, "Out! You are not to be in this kitchen!"
I just wanted to make sure everything was all right there.
There are guests still, and we will continue to provide with hors d'oeuvres. If you would please leave my kitchen before you and your dirty shoes make a mess of everything.
My shoes are quite nice, dear. I will make sure to write about you in my news article.
Out, and she like points at the door with this bloody knife.
All right. Caught again.
The other three, as you continued forward,
Detective!
the rest of you, as this is occurring, you approach the second door down the hallway, opening up. It leads into a water closet. Again, the floor is tiled, almost in a dizzying pattern of black and white tiles. You have the two toilets, doors closed for the two water closets, and the two sinks with mirrors in front of them as you step in. There is a little bit of light faintly coming into the window that is kind of against the back wall. It's like a frosted glass. It lets a little bit of outside ambient light in. And you see Evelyn Hale kind of leaning against the sink, hands clutched onto either side of it with like white knuckling with how hard she is gripping this sink. She is just staring into the mirror, not moving, not talking, has made no attempt to clean any of the blood off of her face, and has not seemed to recognize that any of you have entered the room.
Before Joe pops in and does some weird, I'm going.
I just thought it was ironic, okay?
Fuck you, Rima. Fuck you for pointing out something that I should have figured out myself.
I waited till you were done. I let you cook, and cook you did not. So now I get to give you shit about it.
I'm glad you said something. I was gonna wait till it was over.
That's why I was like, detective!
Killing it. I'm killing this out here. Old lady
Sorry.
yells at me. I get nervous.
There's nothing to see in there. Just Phyllis. With a quick change from being just in the other room.
With a knife, a bloody knife, chopping up something.
Old lady yells at me. I get nervous and I leave.
So fair, though.
Oh.
Sorry, Tech.
No, I mean that was equally important actually. But I would like to walk not directly behind her, but within like she could see me if she like looked up or was paying attention.
She's just staring, eyes back into her own eyes in the mirror. She has not moved.
I've seen that look before. Hey, behind you, safe distance and all, so you ain't got to worry about me or anything. But
No reaction.
Evelyn?
How close do you get, Marianne? Are you waving like in front of her face?
I'm not gonna say I'm like directly in her face yet, but like, you know how people kind of like awkwardly like step in a door and just go like, hey. So I'd say probably I'm like 3 feet away from her. Like,
She stands there unmoving.
I would like to get close to the mirror.
Mhm.
I'm not within arm's grab distance. Don't do that to me. But I would like to get like to the left of her, like back against the wall.
So like
Looking at her
directly
face to
behind her
face.
to try and.
Well, yeah, like she's looking at the mirror, and I'd like to put my back against the
Mhm.
wall and like look at her, like face to face.
Oh, okay. I understand. I thought you were over her shoulder. I understand. Okay.
Oh.
You step in to what could be like her line of view, and there's a moment where there's nothing, and then she flinches as she kind of sees that like last bit of movement as you kind of stand right next to the mirror. Oh god, and she like lets go of the sink, takes a step back, and as she turns to look at the three of you, because I'm assuming where you are and then towards the door the other two, you all see her turn, and for a moment her face looks wrong. It's almost as if her eyes are too large, and it again there's the dried blood, and her skin has this kind of sallow look to it, but it also looks elongated's not the right word. Her face, Evelyn turns to look all of you in the eyes, and you see this kind of distorted, misshapen. Her features are misshapen. You look into her eyes, and for a moment it is not Evelyn looking at any of you. Evelyn is vacant. She is not here. It's almost as if there is something else looking through Evelyn. And you all get this unsettling feeling of being perceived. Like the sense of when you step into a dark room at night and the hair on the back of your neck stands up and it feels almost like something is watching you from all corners. You get that feeling, but it is the focused attention of something that is not Evelyn in this moment. And if I can have everyone roll a quick sanity check.
Am I back in the room yet or no?
I will say you come in right as she turns.
Right for the sanity check.
Yes. Hey, you asked.
Pass this one. We got a 40.
Okay, so success.
Matching you with a 40, sir.
Success?
Mm.
29.
Success, beautiful.
Do I subtract
you're
it?
muted, Taz. Nope, you don't.
I rolled a 4.
Sorry?
I rolled a 40, and my sanity is a 35.
Unfortunately, sanity rolls are the one roll you cannot spend luck on.
No.
Poor Ruby. For everyone else,
Can we assist with sanity rolls?
you cannot, unfortunately. This is one's own ability to maintain
Your
composure
mind.
and control over your mind. For the three of you that succeeded, you see Evelyn kind of blink and almost like shake her head And as she opens her eyes, it is Evelyn. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's one of those things where it's like, you're so on edge. This evening has been weird. She has blood caked on her face. It is unsettling. It is very unsettling. And you kind of are like, you can either choose to write it off as like, I'm just seeing things. Maybe I drank that last glass of gin a little too fast. Or maybe you go, for those who have seen things in their past, that was not something that I want to ever see again. But you have that recognition of like, this was something. For Ruby. The sink that she was at, where she was staring into the mirror, is the same sink that you painted a particular symbol underneath of earlier this evening. And it's almost with no control to your body that you dart forward from where you're standing next to Mary Ann and almost slide on your knees underneath the sink. You have to make sure it's there. It has to be there. What if she touched it? What if she moved it? She can't ruin any of your art. Whatever this is, like, it has to be there. And it is, you have to, there's this urge inside of you.
Yeah, I get on my knees and I slide under the sink. And I'm just like, looking to see if it's still there.
The rest of you see this immediate shift in behavior. Ruby, if you'll go ahead as well and take 3 points away from your sanity as you suffer a bit of a sanity loss as this compulsion overtakes you mind and body to check on the symbol you have painted. Everyone else sees this.
I'm not a big baseball fan, but I think she's safe.
I'm just gonna. What you looking at? What you looking at?
I just had to make sure.
Make sure that the plumbing works.
So am I still, once I see it, does that feeling go away, or am I still feeling that?
Not immediately. You're like touching it to make sure the paint's dry. She hasn't disturbed it at all, that the symbol's not messed up, because it has to be pristine. They all have to be pristine.
Can I look underneath and like look for what she's looking for?
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing that too. Like,
Easily enough. You see a set of painted yellow swirls. Almost 3 swirls coming out from a single point in the middle.
Can I see
Is it-
if I know what this is?
Oh, please roll a cult.
I got a 34, so that is a half for me.
A hard success? Okay.
Yes.
You kind of looking underneath. And as this is all happening, I will say, like, Evelyn takes a few steps back. She's disoriented and kind of just like, what is happening? This girl's been through some shit tonight. She is just watching this kind of unfold. You get down next to Ruby and next to Mary Ann and are looking underneath the sink at the symbol. And it's immediate for you. You know exactly where this is coming from. This is a symbol alluding to the king in yellow. This...
Are they?
Oop, go. What was your question, Taz?
I was asking Atticus, is it still perfect?
Oh, it's perfect, Atticus.
Yeah, I think from my knowledge, it looks perfect. I mean, you told me that you're a fantastic artist, and I'm gonna go ahead and trust that based on what I see here.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm gonna stand back up and dust the wrinkles out of my dress.
Atticus, you know this to be the yellow sign. A seal of Hastur, Hastur, who is also often referred to by people who worship him as he who is not to be named. And you're very well aware of what seals do and how they function, both in ways to create areas that a deity could appear in, but also as a way to keep a deity out. You do not know which particular avenue Miss Ruby is hoping for, or if that she's even fully aware of what she is painting. That is what you see before you.
I want to make sure I got that first part right. You said keeping, the second part was keeping something in, the first part was summoning.
Basically dedicating a space. So seals can be created to kind of allow a space to be, let's say hallowed might be a good word for a particular deity. The more seals in a set space, the greater the chance that that deity can step through fully and exist within that space. Artwork, you would know, is a great way to do such things.
Miss Ruby,
Yeah.
do you know what it is you're drawing?
It's the sun rays. When they stretch out towards the clouds. Kind of like how I see them in my dreams.
You see these in your dreams?
Sometimes I see my dreams, sometimes I see them just when I close my eyes. I see them when I'm listening to music. I see them when I'm painting.
Okay, so kind of.
It's an artist thing.
No, I fully understand it. So kind of anytime you feel motivated or helps you feel motivated.
Yeah, it inspires me.
By chance, is it inspiring you to let the sun rays out?
I don't know.
I think that you should probably look up what you've been drawing.
Oh, they're just
That's-
doodles. Like
Man.
stars, clouds, and sun rays.
Do you mind showing me where else you've made these doodles?
How much time you got? 'Cause we're
How much
back.
in this place in their home you've been doing these doodles?
Oh no. I look at everyone else. Does everyone else seem perturbed by me? I'm starting to get nervous.
How is everyone else reacting to this unfolding in front of them? That is a great cutoff point there. How are you all?
I think Dave Ruby is more concerned with Evelyn, and his attention's focused to them, so he's
Okay.
not really paying attention.
Same. I was gonna say I'm listening to them, but once Evelyn kind of seemed to be like lucid,
Mhm.
you know, kind of panicking, I think I'd probably want to tend to her. So, I'm like, oh, hey, are you okay? But like looking over my shoulder so I can like listen in on the conversation about the art on the bottom of the sink.
Since it seems like no one is staring me down, I will look back at Atticus and say, I drew one more under the ship paint on the frame.
Okay. from here on out, whenever you get the urge to do these paintings and to do all the etchings and stuff, do you mind coming and getting me? I'd like to be there for whenever you do your next one.
If I have time.
Okay. Maybe I should tell you a little bit more of what these paintings are, or what this symbol means. Might mean more than you think it does.
Okay.
We'll kind of cut back from this conversation to the other portion of this room. Evelyn has backed up and now is kind of like back against the wall, just like it just seems to be almost in her head trying to piece together the amount of time that is like miscongruent in her head to you all appearing and then knee sliding in front of her under the sink that she apparently was standing at.
I'm just gonna, kind of crouch down to her and just say, hey,
It's okay, darling. It's all right. Nobody saw it happen. Nobody even noticed. You did wonderful.
I have charm.
This isn't so much charm as she's figuring out if you were lying to her, and she very much is like, everyone saw. I had a horrible headache. I couldn't finish the piece. My head hurt too much.
Do you
And it's like,
do you get these headaches often there at Dollface?
no, I've never had a headache like this before. And she is kind of like, you can tell like she is in pain the more now she's thinking about it and like coming back into her own body. It's the realization of like, I have a splitting migraine. It's kind of, you see flashes of pain now intermixed with the confusion.
No, you didn't have this when you replaced the I can remember their name one time. Felicity. You don't remember no headache when you replaced their Felicity?
I'm new. Felicity left one day and they asked me to join on.
Who asked you?
Well, Spencer.
Was
He said
there
I was gifted and it pays well.
what's the pay for that? By the way, I'm Dave Ruby with the New York Post. I'm doing an article on you because you're an up and coming artist, and we want to make sure that you get the credit you deserve.
She kind of cocks her head at that. And you kind of get the sense she does
Stop
not
rolling better than me,
fully
Kate. Stop rolling better than me.
it.
Rolled my dice 4 times tonight. 1 was a critical fail, and 1 was a pass. Barely.
Wait, when did you critically fail? Did you roll a 100?
Yes, I told you that before. It's in the chat.
I missed it. I am so sad. I've failed as your keeper this evening. I apologize greatly for all of you. Oh, darn. She doesn't seem to fully buy in that you're here to interview her for a paper.
Well, I'm definitely here to interview her.
She's getting that the questions are pointed. I just started a few weeks ago. I hadn't even hardly seen the piece before tonight.
Is that?
I never made a mistake like I did.
I mean, I'm no composer or a musician by any means. Our lovely Miss Wilkins is quite the singer, but is it often that you wouldn't see a piece? Is it often you wouldn't see a piece before you actually have to play it?
Well, I've practiced it on my own a few times. But
So you've seen the piece before?
Yes.
But-
I learned my portion of it. I've never played it with the full quartet. all together before tonight. It was kind of a special performance of it.
Was
It's the first time it's being played for, well, a crowd.
Was this the first time? Was this a piece composed by Mr. Spencer?
Yes, he said he put his blood, sweat, and soul into it.
And is this the first piece by Mr. Spencer that you've performed?
Well, no, we've played other pieces.
But is this besides ones that he's written specifically?
Yes, I don't understand the question. Yes, I've played other music.
What, have you played other music that Mr. Spencer has composed specifically, though? Is my question.
Yes.
But this is the first time that you've gotten a piece the day you've had to perform it?
Well, no, I had. Stop trying to catch me in a lie, Joe.
I'm also like wiping her face off while he's
Just the
doing
crust of
all
blood, yeah.
this.
She's just
like
letting
trying
you.
to like dab it. Like, that's okay. You're gonna look good as new, darling. Wait, why am I taking on Joe's accent now? No! It's catching.
It is. No, I just told you I learned my portion of it.
Right. That's not my question, dear. I'm asking. My question is, have you performed a piece by Mr. Spencer in the past that you've had this sort of reaction to? Or is this the first night you've played in a full orchestra, well, your quartet, that you've had this sort of reaction to?
I've never played a single note wrong before.
And you're saying you played a note wrong tonight?
I messed up one of the measures, and then I had a horrible stabbing pain in my head.
The moment you played the note wrong?
Immediately after, I suppose, yes.
And you've never had that, you've never played a note wrong before in one of Mr. Spencer's composures? I assume that's what they're called?
No, there's a reason I'm the first violinist.
What was Miss Hale not capable of?
Evelyn
I'm trying
Hale
to read these fucking notes.
Is my name.
I'm trying to read these notes.
Felicity.
Miss Felicity, was she not capable of following these notes like you are?
I don't know. Like I said, she just left.
Well, I
They
thought
replaced her.
Didn't you say she was fired before?
All I know is she left. All I know is I took her seat.
Did she leave or was she fired? I mean,
I
as
don't know.
first seat, I feel like this is something you should probably know. Who are you replacing?
That's a question for Spencer.
Well, don't worry about Mr. Spencer. I'm talking to you now, and I want to make sure we have all the information for our article.
I'm just here to perform.
No, Miss Hale. I'm asking you a question, a very simple question. Did you or did you not replace Miss Felicity because she was fired?
I don't know if she was fired at this point.
But you said
tears.
But
she
you said
left.
you replaced her.
Spencer hired me. I don't know. If you have questions, ask Spencer. He is weird enough. Him and Miss Clara, one of the two of them could answer. I don't know.
Why? I mean, this feels like something you probably should know. You've replaced this woman who's now dead. So exactly at what point did
Felicity's dead? She starts just like sobbing.
So I'm going to ask you again, Miss Hale. Did you or did you not replace her because she was fired?
I can't. And she bolts from the room.
Hold on, y'all telling me these notes is killing people?
And on that immaculate speculation, I think is where for this evening we will find our point to stop. These notes do be killing people. Yeah, so we are gonna kind of end here with Evelyn having darted off. Private investigator Dan Diamond working real hard over here. He's cooking something. And we will come back to kind of the scene to see where you guys choose to go to next. And yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday
With internet that works.
With internet that works, with Streamlabs that will not bully us the entire stream. Thank you for everyone who's still stuck around with us. We adore all of you. Thank you to all of you wonderful players. I know next week we have Foraging Fates on Monday.
Forging Fates on Monday. This Thursday, we have Investigation Check with AJ Winters of Castleton. So I'm going to be interviewing her about what it's like to run a game for over 100 people and why you would possibly want to partake in something that insane. Sunday.
Tuesday is Sunday. Oh, that's right.
Sunday, you can find me in tech on Records of the Realm, where we're playing in the Darkness Arc. And then Monday is Forging Fates, and then Tuesday is this game again. And
then Wednesday, Queer and Present Danger. Where you can
Queer
find
Present Danger.
Rima and I.
And this Saturday is the series finale for Appalachia.
Oh, that's Friday. I don't have better. If you are watching right now and you haven't watched me before, this is the first time this has happened.
Ever.
I apologize,
In
but
2.5
if
years.
you want to see me on my game, tune in to twitch.tv/nerdswithdice on Friday at 8 to see me play Miss Aileen in Old Gods of Appalachia series finale.
Okay.
Otherwise, these have been my wonderful investigators. I have been your keeper for the evening, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye, geeks.
If we're gonna go ahead and raid someone.
Yep, that's the thing.
But besides that, love you, geeks. Good night.